Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Mod Driven. So you want to buy a Mercedes-Benz, but you're afraid. You're afraid of a couple things. Number one, what the heck it's going to cost you. It's a Mercedes. It's going to cost a fortune, right? There's no way you can afford one of these. And secondly, it's going to nickel and dime you to death. It's horrible when it comes to reliability, and there's going to be tons and tons of repairs. Things that you're going to have to spend even more money on, right? And what about insurance? That certainly is going to be outrageous. Well, I'm here to tell you, those things are all wrong. And the best Mercedes-Benz to buy is a used Mercedes-Benz. Now, I'm not talking about one that's 15 years old, although depending on how it was taken care of, that might not be such a bad idea, because I have found that the residual value, the value of the Mercedes, drops pretty quickly. You know, I know somebody who has one that's about 19, 20 years old, something like that, and it's really in perfect condition. I mean, it has some typical aging things like a little bit of yellow in the headlights, a little bit of cracking in some of this leather seating surfaces, stuff like that, but nothing horrible. Nothing that you wouldn't expect in a car of that age. However, the value of that car is about $2,500, $2,600, and that's absurd. That car should be worth somewhere probably in the $10,000 to $15,000 range is my guess. But for some reason, and I guess it's the reputation, maybe the reliability concerns, it's low. Now, how do you buy one? You buy a used one. Now, I'm not talking about one, again, that's really old. Something that's within still the warranty range. Because you see, that will then allow you to not have to repair anything should there be anything go wrong. Because let's be honest, parts and labor, any kind of repair on a Mercedes-Benz is a ton. And it's really only because it's a Mercedes-Benz. You know, years ago, I had a Porsche, and it was the same thing. An oil change on that car, it was like $1,500. $1,500 for an oil change? That's crazy. And it's only because it was a Porsche. You know, I did it myself. Really wasn't any more difficult to do than any other car I'd ever done. So you buy a used within a couple, 3 years of the latest model so that you have warranty, and something with low miles. You know, you don't want to exceed the mileage on the warranty, 36,000, 48,000, whatever it is. I believe the Mercedes has a 4-year warranty. So let's take, for instance, turning into 2023, which we're doing now, you really should be looking at probably a 2020 or a 2021, because you're still going to have some warranty left that you can take care of. Now, I mentioned pricing. You just can't afford one. Mercedes are too much money. Because of that drop in residual value that I mentioned, you certainly can afford one. It's not going to cost you a fortune. This one that I got back here, this had about 29,000 miles on it. It's a 2020, still has warranty left, and cost me in the 30s. Now, you're going to spend in the 30s for any decent car that you can find out there these days anyway. Not to say that you can't get one cheaper, but when you're looking for one that has a lot more stuff on it, a lot more tech, a lot more luxury, you're going to spend in the 30s, maybe even 40s anyway. So if you can get one of those, you certainly can afford to get a Mercedes-Benz. Now, what do you get for that? Well, you're not going to get the latest and greatest technology, that's for sure. Right now, there is a new Mercedes out, a redesigned Mercedes. I believe it started with the 2022 model year, and it is awesome. I had actually looked at getting that one myself, but couldn't find a dealership that would work with me to actually get one. So you're not going to get the latest and greatest, but I've got to say anything more recent is going to have everything on it that you would need anyway. It's not going to be quite as flashy like this new Mercedes C300 is, but it's still going to look pretty darn good. It's going to have all of the functionality, the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi, all the stuff that you would want. No reason to jump into a brand new one unless you really have to have the latest and greatest. Lastly, how this one is doing for me. You know, put my money where my mouth is, right? I've had no problems with it. It's been perfectly fine, no issues with it, no recalls, no maintenance problems. Everything works perfectly. Matter of fact, it's basically brand new inside. You want to find one that people take care of, that people had pride in owning. And that's true with any used car, Mercedes or, I don't know, 1980 Honda Civic, whatever it is. You want to find something that people actually took care of. That will give you a little bit of a clue as to what they did mechanically. Just save you some money and some heartache in the end. If they didn't take care of the seats, they're probably not taking care of the motor because they sit on the seats every day, right? Anyway, I just wanted to get on here, kind of talk about that a little bit. The best Mercedes C300 to buy is a used Mercedes 300. Relatively new though. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you agree or not so much? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about the Toyota Tacoma, and Rob Motive JT, all about the Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? And while you're at it, smash the subscribe button here too. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.